to the United States. She was a gifted songwriter and a singer. By 1911, she became a vocal music teacher at the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago. But then tragedy struck. She developed an affliction that resulted in her blindness. Her husband could not cope with the thought of a blind wife, so he abandoned her. I don't want to know his name. Anyway, she had nowhere to turn but to wholly trust in the Lord. She retired from Moody and moved to Seattle, where she continued to write poems and set them to music. In complete blindness, she would pick out the notes on a small keyboard and call on friends to record her melodies before she forgot them. I think that's interesting. Whenever her friends asked how she was, her frequent reply was, and I'm going to remember this, I'm going to write this somewhere. Her reply was, "I am fine in the things that count." She continued to write until she died at the age of 97. And all she did and authored, there were 500 hymns. So what about the other woman? How did the two women that never met collaborate in writing this hymn? In 1901, Lilias Trotter set off for a time alone with God after her mother passed. She felt the clear call of God to go bring the gospel to the Arab tribes of Algeria. Ultimately, she served as a missionary to Algeria for 38 years. The ministry was difficult. Converts were banished and sometimes beaten, and some died. Undeterred by poor health and much opposition, her ministry in Algeria eventually grew to include 30 full-time workers and 15 preaching stations. She did a lot of writing, and once she wrote a little word entitled "Focused," a story and a song. So this song included these words: turn your full soul's, no, hold on, back up. Turn full your soul's vision to Jesus and look at him, and a strange dimness will come over all that is apart from him, for he is worthy to have all there is to be had in the heart that he has died to win. Man, that'll preach. Soon, one of Helen's friends found the pamphlet and read it to her. Helen was especially impacted by one sentence: turn full your soul's vision to Jesus and look at him, and a strange dimness will come all over that is part of him. She also read about Lillian's missionary life and included part of that vision to her song at the end. I thought that was interesting. Those words seemed to repeat over and over in her mind during the following days. That was her inspiration to write both music and text for the song, Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus. In 1926, Lilias Trotter revised her original book, combined it with Helen's text and music, and published it with a new title, Focused, a story and a song, even though Helen had titled hers The Heavenly Vision because she couldn't see. So my takeaway from this, I don't know about you, but focused. Focused is the word that I'm getting here. And, I don't know if you're like me, but I can get on my phone and start doing my post. And next thing I know, I see this TikTok that takes me back to Africa watching an elephant get born. It's so true. I was like, where am I at? And why did this happen? Stop. I have to talk to myself. If anybody was at home with me, they thought that there was two people there. But anyway, so my takeaway is this: make a graph. I think all of us, especially Sarah, I'm talking to me, but it may be what I am hearing this week is for you too. So make a graph, okay? One side this way, one side this way. And on one side, say, write down on one side, what has God told me to do? And if you don't know, fast and pray, he will show you. What has God told me to do? And you list those things on that side. And so, it could look like pray for others, your country, declare God's word, write a book. Go reach out to a friend or something. All of these things, you felt that God's told you to do. Excuse me. And on the other side, write down, what am I actually doing? So what am I actually doing? I might need 2 pages for. Because I get I'm like, oh, and I'm like a little squirrel. I'm like, oh yeah. And so instead of that little squirrel trying to find its acorn, focus like that, I tend to chase rabbits. So whenever you have your list, look at the things that really don't matter, that you can do without. And I wrote down, prioritize to meet what God has told you to do. So if we can prioritize the things that you put on paper, the things that God's told you to do, find the way on the other side to meet those and meet in the middle. And so I think that's important. And that's how sometimes just praying, getting in his presence is the first step to do that. Let me read this. I'm going to read this real quick. Excuse me. This is turn your eyes upon Jesus. Oh, soul, are you weary and troubled? No light in the darkness you see. There's light for a look at the Savior and life more abundant and free. She's blind. Remember, she's blind. Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full in his wonderful face. And the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. Through death into life everlasting, he passed and we follow him there. O'er us sin no more has dominion, for more than conquerors we are. His word shall not fail you, he promised. Believe him and all will be well. Then go to a world that is dying like that other girl and his perfect salvation to tell. Anyway, I just thought that blessed me and I hope it blessed you today. So I think that's probably my time limit. I don't know if I went over or under. Okay.
Kara has to go help somebody real quick, but she's going to come back and share with us.
Oh,
next.
well, I have more.
You keep going then.
We all know that Satan knows very well the power of concentration. So if you're inspired to do something God has called you to do, he will turn all of his energies to bring inside interests, phone calls, every sort of distraction that will shatter the intensity of doing what God has asked you to do, to where you don't have time, you don't have energy, or you simply forget about it. How many times have I gotten a little, oh yeah, I need to do that, and I forget the phone call, somebody rings the phone call or the doorbell rings, or somebody sends me a text and I just completely get distracted off of that beeline communication with God. So stay focused. Kara's back.
Delivery in progress. So yeah, I think this was the perfect devotion to have, especially this time of the year when it's so easy to get distracted and our minds going in 100 different directions. So I think we should all try to do this graph and see what we're missing from what the Lord's telling us to do. And because of our busyness, we've missed out. Maybe we've missed out on being a blessing for someone. Maybe we've missed out on an action that we were supposed to do. So I like what Maggie said, spending more time in his word keeps us more focused. So let's listen to that small, still voice. Sometimes he will shout, right? But most times he's waiting for us to get quiet and listen. So that was really good, Sarah. So how do I get her off?
I don't know what you can. Are you wanting to see yourself?
I guess I just want to see a blank screen. I don't know. I'm new to Zooms, y'all, so I don't know how to work this machine.
I feel
So
like that's how I usually is.
okay. Usually I see Kara there though.
I know, but Kara's not.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh well. So today Bailey and I were trying to figure out what we could present today. We kind of just thought maybe someone else might do it, and so we got chosen. So here we are. So bear with us as we try to mull through it. So Bailey and I listened to a YouTube video from Emily Gibson. She is one of my favorite. Ember, no, leave that cord alone. Don't unplug the computer. She is one of my favorite speakers. She's a diamond in the company. And she shared that she has, how many followers was it?
20, underneath there, 20,000.
Over 20,000 under her, in her downline. And about 20% of those keep her income at a good place.
Actually order.
Yeah, that actually order about
She was
20%
saying
of
it
those.
takes
So
a lot less.
yeah, she said it takes a lot less than what you actually think. So she may have 20,000 in her organization, but she only needs about 20% of that to make a very, very good income, she said. So I thought, oh, you know, we get in our mind sometimes that we've got to have this huge, gigantic organization to make money. And then when she stated that, I thought, well, okay, so yeah, we can all do this. Now Bailey may have to help me with this because I'll get stuck here, but I took a lot of notes. But it had to do a lot with like our thought process. And I know we discussed this a little bit in the Rubies on the Rise on some of the situations that we feel about why we don't present products, why we don't proceed with certain items in our sales presentation because of how we feel like people don't want to hear what we've got to say, will stump us from trying to share the product. Well, this is also, she was talking about your points, like what are how to bring up your points when they're down, and which right now that seems to be a common denominator with a lot of people is that our points are down. So before I even start, I'm going to ask you, put all pride aside, y'all, because we are all down. So let's just all participate. So right now, I would like you to put in the chat, what were your points at the end of last month? I'm going to stick mine in there. Well, that's where I ended, and I'm going to put what I needed to maintain. Let's see, I think I wrote it down here. Okay, so I needed 1335.
Really, that's not.
So anyway, everyone just go to your back office and just take a real quick look. If you don't know, if you do remember what you ended at, just take a stab at it. So, and what she wanted to stress was that, you know, the points in the points that we ended with at the end of the month, that is a circumstance. Chime in anytime I get something wrong, if I struggle here. That is a circumstance. That is a neutral fact. It will not change. It's just a neutral thing. We needed this many points in our back office to maintain Ruby or gold or silver, senior silver. And that's it's a neutral fact. It cannot be changed. Now, she went through this process of how we think about things. So the next thing is like, okay, what is your thought about your points? So your thought is what you think that creates your feelings. So someone write in the chat, what was your feelings about last month's points? What feeling did that create in you? So for me, I'm going to put stress, disappointment. What else, guys? Bailey, what was one of yours? Sarah, like I failed. Disappointment. Stress. Okay, so that was the thought, and then our feelings. You know, the thought was, yeah, my points are behind, but the feeling created was I'm disappointed, I'm stressed. Some said they were depressed. So what happened as a result of the feeling? The result was they avoided sending messages to their VIPs. They avoided doing a reel. They avoided doing the post. They had the thought, I'm done with this. So stress from Maggie, stress to cause I need money. It's been so helpful. Also gave me motivation. Love that. Okay, so now in the chat, I want you to write down what was your result of those feelings you all just listed. So someone share one of the results that you had. For me, mine was, I'm not going to post today, I'm just not feeling it, just being valid, Anyone else got one? I took 48 hours off.
She broke that down too,
Yeah.
motivation.
Then played catch up. Barbara Ann, at first I was just blah. And then once the month was over, I put it behind me and kicked my butt into gear. Yes. Bailey, I stopped taking time to post and reach out to others. Or Sarah. Okay. Okay. So these are the feelings that you it was a result from those feelings. That's what our action plan was. So she gave us 3 tips on how to get past these circumstances here. So number 1 was be clear on your purpose. Why did you start your business? So again, like I said, today is active. I want everyone to just chime in here in the chat. Why did you start your business? Someone start writing. Okay, there's mine. Okay, me, for the money, help others earn an income, freedom, stay at home with kids, to bless my family and help others, freedom. So it sounds like for a lot of us, income, extra money was the reason we started this business. So now I want you all to write that down. If you've got a notepad or if you're in the car, don't do it now, but when you get home, write it down, please. Write down what your reason for starting the business, because you don't want to disconnect from that reason. And it's very easy, once you validate that feeling, you're going to avoid sending messages to your people. You're going to avoid doing that reel. You're going to avoid posting. You're going to disconnect from the reason why you got into Plexus, the reason why you decided this is the company for me. This is where I choose to get my freedom. This is where I choose to make more money to help others. You don't want to disconnect from that reason. So 2, get curious about your purpose. Did you write anything more about that part?
She was just saying, is it still what your purpose is today? And if so, why is it your purpose? And if not, then why not? And then you need to discover what your new purpose is, or if it is your purpose, just kind of realign with that. And something, we're going to share it in the next one. Never mind.
Oh, I was going to say,
Go ahead. I thought it was really good.
well, I just wrote down, to be honest with yourself, because your third, yeah, go ahead.
She was saying, be honest with yourself about your purpose. And I think because a lot of times, like if our purpose is what? Yes, in a minute. If our purpose was money or something like that, a lot of times we might feel bad about it, or we don't want other people to think that we're greedy or selfish or whatever the reason may be. But she said there's no reason to lie to yourself, like figure out what your purpose is and let that be your purpose. Because otherwise, if you do lie to yourself and you're saying, I'm just doing this to help others, but maybe that's not really your true purpose, then she said that disconnects you from your purpose and from yourself, and that's going to affect your actions and your work and your results.
Yes. So there were 3 tips that we can take action, 3 action steps to reverse what we're thinking. So number 1, she said, open up your back office, take inventory of who has quit. So you all go to your back office today, get your pen and paper out and write down the names of those people who are no longer ordering, who've turned off their subscriptions, and make that list. And then decide, and I like this part, once you have that, she's like, okay, you decide how you want to feel about that. And, you had, like, for me, I'm going to be like, dang it, I'm going to be aggravated. I'm going to be a little sad there. So validate that for a moment, and then get curious about that. What action can I take to help serve that person? So one, what could I do to bring them back would be one of the questions you want to ask. And then let's think about what we can do. So some of the ideas that she had was, number one, offer free shipping. She said, hey, here's a sample text message. Hey, I know you ordered in the past, and I know how important this certain health issue was to you. And I'd love to help you stay in alignment with that goal. And if you order this month, I'm offering free shipping. She said, just get creative in what you can do to serve that person. So that may take some time as far as like going back to your messages and finding out what conversation you had with that person. So I would go like say, if my person's name was Mary Smith, go back to your messages, find out what was important to her. Was it that something to do with her diabetes? Was it something to do with this? Was it something to do with stress? Go back and find out what was important to her, and then go back and find a way to serve her. She said, tap into the emotion. Two, or the other thing she said, another idea was to do an enrollment special. So a free gift with purchase. I liked that idea. I thought that was pretty cool. She said you could offer like a free 7-day trial pack, a free ink pen. She said one of the things that she had gotten was some cute little jewelry holder pouches. They were about that size. It reminded me of a coin purse. And she said she got them off of Amazon, really cheap, good price. And then she gave a sample message with that. Hey, I know you had been thinking about ordering, or you did order in the past. Either way, you can take that with either a prior order or one who's thinking. And this month we have a free gift to purchase. This is what it is, and we'd love to get you started today. So that was a good idea. And then her second tip was do a post and a cold reach out. And that one kind of makes you cringe, because no one likes to do cold reach outs.
She said those two work well together, because if you're posting, it's going to help to give better results with your cold reach out. If you're just doing cold reach out, but they're not seeing any other stuff from your timeline or from your stories or whatever, then it can make things a little slower.
Mm-hmm. And she said, well, one of the thoughts people have is, well, people are going to think I'm trying to sell to them. Well, that's because you are, guys. That's what we're doing. No matter if we're posting, we're doing reels, our Facebook posts. That is essentially what we're doing. We are selling, guys. That's what we're doing. So accept it and just do it. And then the third one, and I laughed at this one because she said, when I say this third one, it's going to make your butt pucker. And she said, plan an event. So, and she said, schedule it now. And so that is one thing I think we're going to have to really try to do, is plan an event. We talked about last month and we just didn't plan it well. There wasn't enough time to get it in place, but we are going to work on getting some scripts for you, and get that event, because that event is what's going to help improve our numbers. We get people there, get people in the door, and get our numbers in our back office up again. So from there, I want to share, I want to share the YouTube video. This YouTube video is going to be about what, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours or so.
Yeah, but only 30 minutes is her teaching what she's teaching, and then the rest is her coaching other people and then walking them through their thoughts and their feelings and things like that.
And it's well worth watching the video, because she shared on this one girl she was coaching. It's really cool to see it happen right before us. Because she definitely hit a soft spot with her. The girl got emotional. I kind of got emotional with her, but she kind of walked her through why she was feeling what she was feeling. And she talked about, she drew a graph, and on one half, it was split 50-50. One side was positive with positive thoughts, and the other side was the negative.
She was saying with us being humans, feelings are very normal and they're not always going to be good feelings. She said, we're going to have half good feelings and we're going to have half bad feelings. And that's okay. She said, that's human. Like if you look at your back office and your points are down, then it wouldn't be normal to be happy and excited about it.
Exactly.
But she's saying we have to learn how to cope or how to work with our feelings rather than letting them just rule over us.
Right. And decide our fate,
Right.
and our actions. And a lot of times that's what we do. We let those negative feelings pave the way for us.
Quick question, Kara.
In the whole graph, some of the show yours. Someone in-person event. In-person event.
You
Yeah.
can do,
Oh, geez.
do one
Okay.
we're going to do an in-person.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's her graph. So in the positive, when you think about positive feelings you're going to have peace, you're going to have enjoyment, relief, you're going to love, achievement. Those are all positive feelings. On their side of the negative is the stress, the anger, the betrayal, disappointment, fear, anxiety, frustration. And she said, when we think and lean on the negative, we are then buffering those, and you are giving yourself a reason, like when you're feeling the negative. So what do we do sometimes to make ourselves feel better or not think about it? We're going to go clean. We're going to have a glass of wine. We're going to go eat ice cream. We're going to watch Netflix. You're buffering so that you don't feel the negative. And so you would do those things, go watch Netflix and chill out so you don't feel anxious. And so,
Did she say that?
oh,
Have a glass of wine.
yeah. Well, that girl said, you'll have a glass of wine to chill.
Hold on, buddy.
Anyway, so she said, you don't want to be disassociated from those negative feelings, but she just kind of went through that process of how to, I guess, get back to a better result instead of staying in a funk with that negative. She
It's-
helped turn it around.
Yeah, kind of like what Barbara shared earlier. Like at first she was sad about it and stuff, but then this year
This
the
month.
next month, she decided she was going to kick it
Kick
back
back.
into gear. So
Mhm.
a lot of times if we have those bad feelings, like to protect ourselves, we're like, well, I'm just going to do something that gives me good feelings, which would be those things that are called buffering. Like I'm going to go bake something. I'm going to go eat something that makes us feel good. But then she said, if you do it and you feel worse, then it's called buffering. She said, if it's one girl mentioned, like I go work out, she said, that's something that's not actually bad. It can be a coping mechanism and you can feel better afterwards, but you want to take those negative feelings and you want to still put action towards it. So you're going to get the results that you want.
Mhm.
Because she said, there's been a lot of times, she said she built a whole year, she built her business out of anger. She actually used it to let it drive her. I mean, none of us want to stay there at anger or sadness or whatever, but we can use it to still drive us to get the results we want, or we can
Mhm.
use it to buffer and then get nowhere.
Mhm.
It's learning to work with them.
So that pretty well is where we got with the video, and I loved her action steps. And I think that would be a good thing to apply when we're in those situations where we are frustrated, is to definitely go back to those action steps and see. A lot of times it's taking the focus off ourselves. One of the things that she talked about was like, I just don't feel supported because my family isn't buying the product. They're not, my extended family think I'm just out and doing hokey pokey with a weird product, they don't support me. And she walked her through that process and basically just helped her see that that's not going to decide her success.
Those are not facts.
Facts,
Those
yeah,
are just
those are
how
not-
she feels about it.
Mhm, yeah. So anyway, I would encourage y'all, we'll put that link in the chat or maybe in Rank Makers so that you all can go take some time and listen to that. I just thought it was really good. And that, yeah, we're all in that same situation. We want our points to be better, but there are some actionable steps that we can do. So, Pam, I have no clue how to put an event together and where to get any insight. Oh, okay. And we will, let us put together, you want to address that?
Yeah, we can put ours together, but there's actually, I think it's actually the same girl who has a video and
Mhm.
shares step by step what to do. So we can share what we're gonna do, and then I can also share her video with you. I'll have to find it.
Mhm.
It's been a while since I've watched it, but she
Yeah.
kind of breaks it down.
And I have noticed, when I go and, just kind of look at other leaders in the industry, a lot of them are doing in-person events again. And so I think that's kind of where we're at too. I think we have a lot of people in our own community that are curious about Plexus. They are curious about the drink. They're curious about the shakes. And I think it's just going to be a matter of getting that marketing out and the awareness out and getting them to, one place to try these. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be a good thing. And I think it's one of those, it's not just going to be a one-time event. It's something we're going to have to do, maybe once a month or something like that, to keep the awareness out. So I'm excited about them.
I really, really want to host an event on my farm, but I absolutely,
Hang on,
Love-
Maggie. Repeat this, please. My volume was down.
I really, really want to host an event on my farm. And so I've hosted a lot of like fundraising type events and stuff. Like I have people come out and teach yoga classes in our flower farms. And like, I do a lot of things, but I haven't ever done anything with Plexus. And I finally feel like confident enough that I'm going to have like an event at the farm for anybody local. And then like anybody can invite anybody local. Like when we have our tulips and stuff blooming this spring, and I'll have like tables out, and I'm going to have like just like samples and people will be able to try the slim and stuff. And then we can all just talk, and it'll be so casual. Like I just want everybody to wear like casual clothes. Like it's not going to be anything super over the top, but just come out and bring your blanket and like hang out in the flowers, bring your kids, like the kids can try it, like, and then just have like little snacks and stuff. I'm going to host one. I haven't asked my mom yet to help me, but she's going to help me.
I love that. Excuse me. I think that's a great idea. I do know like they recommend doing the samples, having 2 or 3 people do a testimony on the health benefits on how Plexus has helped them, and then having a couple testimonies from people how Plexus has changed their life, and do a couple of those and add them into the mix, along with the having a free prize, like a prize for anyone who comes, like a little gift, not a prize, a gift for those who come, and then giving away.
You can give them flowers.
Give them flowers. They would love that. Flowers and a pack of Slim. So anyway, we can get creative with that. So I definitely think we need to keep that in our planning stage and join you with that and help support it. And
Yeah, another thing they do.
Yeah, Pam, don't overthink it. Just like throw a party at your house and invite your friends, and then just be like, here, try some Slim. I mean, don't overthink it too much.
We were gonna do like the slim and the actives and just have them like in little pitchers, and that way people can mix them and try them all. And they also recommend, hold on a minute, doing big gifts that they say, if you order today, then you get to go home with this gift today. And that will help people to just go ahead and do it because they get to go home with something.
Yep. Yeah, we like the idea of putting all of the actives out and letting them mix their own little cocktail, because there's so many ways that we all like to drink our Slim. And so that was going to be one of the things that we done is like, let's test your favorite. What's the best with the black cherry lime? What tastes best with the microbiome Slim? So it's definitely something that you have to sit down and plan, figure it out, and then you need to blast it. You need to blast it marketing wise on your page with your team.
I think with something we did not do last time that we're gonna make sure we do this time, like with your team, since we're gonna be doing it, we'll give everybody the scripts. That way they actually know what to send to people to invite them and what to post on their timeline. Cause I know sometimes that stops people if they're like, I don't know what to do.
Right. So, Pamela, if you don't want to do it on your own, maybe see if you can get some team members. They're local with you to put an event together. But I would just dig in and just go for it. So Maggie says she's in. Who else is in?
I think
Sarah's
her
in.
mama should- Maggie's mom. was in it.
Maggie's mom. Okay. Yeah. And I'm sure Beth would love to do this too. Anyway, I'm excited. And I think the other thing that you'll find is when we start having these events and then you start getting signups, then your VIPs then want to become ambassadors. Then we teach our ambassadors also how to do this. So I think it'll just be a little domino effect here. I think it's going to be good for everybody.
All right.
Does anyone have any questions? Any thoughts? Emmett does.
It does. You would like a shake.
Well, I hope today made some sense with people and anyway, it's been good to meet. Y'all have a great weekend and everyone just keep on doing what we know to do. See y'all.